Mike Radich here, and I'm now joined on the phone by Strikeforce Welterweight Tyron Woodley. Tyron, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. Tyron, your last fight against Paul Daley was in July. How did you feel about your performance in the fight?
I thought I did well. The company tries to show that the person that, for the striking actually threw less punches, landed less punches. So, definitely happy with the first couple rounds. I feel like in the third round, I could have had a better round. Obviously, he came strong towards the end of that. Landed a nice little blow to my rib, which I later found out just kind of indented me and really changes my breathing pattern. So I'm like, I've been tired before, but I feel like I was breathing differently. So, if I can get 2 minutes back in the last round, I would take it back. But other than that, overall, it's a tough guy. I knew it wasn't going to be an easy fight. It's good. It's also good to see, him involved as a fighter, working on some good takedown defense. He even tried to throw a submission, which almost laughed in the middle of the fight. I'm like, I cannot believe he even tried to swing his leg around my shoulder. So maybe, but it's good to see him involved. Hopefully, people can let the Koscheck sucker punch go and let this kid, continue with his career because he brings a ton to the sport. So I would give myself probably a B plus or something like that.
I was going to ask you, how surprised were you that he threw up that omoplata at the end of the round?
Oh, I was really surprised he threw it, but it was just good to see that, he's trying things and he gets a lot of scrutiny about basically being a one-punch pony, that he just was a slugger and a banger, a technical slugger and a banger. He just looks to knock guys out. Took a lot of criticism on his takedown defense and obviously his ground, but I trained with Josh Koscheck for that fight, who in my opinion had a very, very good position to say he might even won that fight. He basically told me, he said, take him down with single legs, take him down with single legs. He kept telling me that I don't shoot a lot of single legs. In MMA fights, because it's just, guys get around your necks, more trembling, so I usually try to just pick him up, put him down hard to get it out of the way, but as I was in the fight, I shot a couple of double legs, and, he's a wide guy, so it doesn't really take a lot of technical, skill to really get low, get your hands inside, and really try to stop the double leg, and he has a wide body, so the times I took him down, it was from the single leg. After I went back and watched, I'm like, and George told me exactly how to shoot it. He told me how to take him down, and without even thinking about it, I looked back at the film, and those were the takedowns I did get. So, there was a little tweak I could have made in that position of the fight, but overall, I took out a guy that, was top 10 in the world at the time, and, he looked like he fighted 5 or 6 times a year. Man, that dude keeps busy.
So it was more of Jorge Masvidal who kind of helped you with the game plan. How much of the Josh Koscheck tape did you watch, and how much did you try to implement what he was able to do? Because he's kind of a similar fighter the way you are. Good wrestler, good.
Yeah, I looked at this fight a lot. Me and Koscheck have similarities just with, just from the way he takes guys down, the way I take guys down. But what I did see is Koscheck was able to frustrate him so much, and really, I didn't really have to use his game plan, but because of the Koscheck fight, he fought different. As you see, I actually came towards him first, because a lot of people get him on his heels, and he put that mean hook, or they back up, and you back up, and he just started getting his rhythm and started teeing off on you. So I came forward and got in and out on my, basically on my own. And I think it surprised him. And when I got him against the cage, I took his ability away to strike, because as I was going for the takedown, I hear his coaches saying, don't punch, because they felt if he punched and opened himself up, then I would take him down. So it really just limited his ability to get those shots. Even when he came close, like I saw a few uppercuts and a few hooks that like almost hit my eyelashes. And I was like, oh, he's about to get hit with that. So it was good, but it was also, I think we both showed different parts of the game, and, it was good for the sport.
After the fight, clearly you're the number one guy. What happens now? Because Strikeforce doesn't have any events planned after December. Have they talked to you about anything going into 2012?
I'm just being patient, to be honest with you, I'm a big believer in whatever God has for me is for me. I think all things work out for a reason. If I get another fight with Strikeforce, I would love it, obviously, because it's been 3 years. I've been in Strikeforce since 2009, so my goal has been to get that belt. Man, I've worked myself all the way to that fight. So even though, it's more prestige, with the UFC and things like that, I really, my heart really wants that belt because it's just something that I've been working so hard for. So getting that belt would mean a lot, but, if they decide that, renewing the contract with Showtime or whatever the, things that are, the King Center deal, I mean, they bought our contracts and I just really, I just have to do what I have to do as far as, what the boss says. So I'm in good standing either way. I'm in good standing with, Zuffa all around, whether it's Strikeforce or UFC. So it really has no negative implications on my career. So I'm just going to keep training. When I hear something, I'll be ready to go.
When that day does come where all the Strikeforce guys fold into the UFC, do you feel that you'll have to, rebuild yourself, get a couple more wins, or do you think you'll be right there where you have to take out one or two top guys to get a title shot, or do you think you have to start back at the bottom and work your way up?
I really don't want to start back at the bottom. That's annoying. You know what I mean? I think at this point in my career, I just knocked off a guy that was in the top 10. Had Diaz not left, I would have had opportunity. I thought for a guy that was in the top 3. I really wouldn't even mind that as my first bout. The way things have filtered through, they honor what they said about Koscheck getting that bout. And basically, if however the BJ Penn and Diaz, I wouldn't mind coming in and fighting Diaz right off the flip because I already had in my mind for the last 2 years how I was going to fight this guy. You know what I mean? So if I come in, with taking that kind of high profile bout, then I'll put myself right in the mix, for maybe even a title shot. So it's a lot of guys that like Brennan and Rich Story, they had these things like then they got cut off with a loss. You know what I mean? So
right.
There's a couple guys there that are veterans, but most of those guys have lost once, twice to GSC, and I just don't think the fans are really interested in seeing it happen again. And just pure style and just pure ability as a fighter, I'm one of the few guys that actually have the ingredients that can even get his due to fight. With the wrestling and just the power inside, and then the striking that I think. Legitimately with a great camp and, great preparation, I can maybe give this guy the challenge that nobody else has been able to give him, just from watching. So I would rather not start from the bottom. Obviously, a Strikeforce world title keeps me in the middle somewhere, and I won't have to do that. So that's another reason why I would love, basically, go in there, get the Strikeforce belt. So in the event that it does dissolve and we do merge in one league, I'm in a great position to, state my claim that I should be fighting top 5 guys in the world, nobody less.
Does it frustrate you that you haven't been able to get in there? I mean, your last fight was in July. Is it kind of frustrating that you don't know? Hey, I might not be fighting for the remainder of the year. I might not be fighting till middle of next year. Is it kind of frustrating not knowing when your next fight's going to be?
No, it would be frustrating, but realistically, I'm actually opening up the American Top Team in St. Louis, ATT Evolution. So, basically, what I'm doing now is I'm planting seeds for my future. Not only just internally through branding myself as a fighter, but also branding my gym and the new headquarters for Tyron Woodley in St. Louis, Missouri. So, that's what I'm doing now. Just training, getting the gym off the ground. So, all these trips to Coconut Creek, Florida, and San Jose, and LA, and all these places I've been around the world. Now I can start getting some of those favors returns. I've been in 7 freaking Thiago Alvarez training camps. I've helped Ethan Edwards for 5 or 6 years. I helped Dean Thomas and Masvidal and all these guys that when it comes time, and that's just not an ATT camp. I've helped several other camps, Team Class and other things like that. So now, when I'm getting ready for my fights, I can spend a portion of that camp at home. Go out for maybe 4 to 6 weeks. Spend two-thirds of those weeks at home, and I think that'll help my training.
The Nick Diaz thing. What was going on in your head when you heard that he, didn't show up for a press conference? What was going on in your head?
He ran. He ducked you. I've never seen Nick Diaz run or duck anybody in his fight career, ever. No matter if he even thought he might have lost the fight. So that's not really even in his build as a fighter or as a person. He's just a pure fighter. He'll fight anybody. And he thinks he can beat anybody. And that's why he's been able to achieve the success he has. But I think I almost felt bad for him. Then I was like, part of me wanted to feel bad for him because I just feel like he's socially awkward. I feel like he doesn't want to do those interviews. He never answers the questions that are asked. He always veers to his brother. And he just really seems like he can care less about doing the interview. And he just, with all the fights and all, so this is a business. Like somebody in his camp, management or something, they need to have him with a PR specialist. They need to have somebody. It's not like the question you asked me today. It's not like I didn't know you was going to say, how do you feel about your performance in your last fight? What's next for you? It's generic questions that you know you're going to get asked. So
right.
They need to have him prepped with a PR guy, take some of the anxiety off the kid, because it looks like he's just not going to answer those questions. And that doesn't, give him a green light, but, it was really a professional. When you sign a contract, you agree to promote the fight and do everything that it takes, and you don't do your part of the deal. I mean, what do you expect anybody to do? Let you fight? So I think, I would like to intercept personally.
Right.
Because I want to go to every press conference.
Right. That's why I was going.
Depending on how this fight goes this weekend, I would definitely love that to be a first fight for me in the UFC. And if he's the one that, if they honor, the situational comment and GSP like they said they would, and they still have to fight, he has to wait around. Shoot, while you waiting around, let's get it on. And and if I win that bout, now I got a legitimate reason to say, hey man, let's do it. I want to go from Strikeforce go to UFC go. So we'll see how it plays out though.
There's two good welterweight fights this weekend. The Nick Diaz, BJ Penn fight at UFC 137, and then at Bellator 56, Ben Askren versus Jay Haran. Who do you like in those fights?
I like, to be honest, it's so hard to say because Diaz can punch in volume and take abuse, hard hits. BJ Penn, for his weight and size, anybody I know who's fought him said the dude punches like a Mack truck. Both of their jiu-jitsu is unorthodox and unreal, with BJ Penn's flexibility and also with just some sneaky things that Diaz can go for. I don't think they're going to submit each other. I don't think they're going to get each other tap out. If this is a 5-round fight, I might veer towards Diaz, just, on a cardio issue, but it's hard to say, I like both fighters. It doesn't matter to me which one wins. Just because I know it's going to be a good fight. I don't think those guys can put on a fight that won't be a good fight. So that was hard to say. If BJ Penn wins, well, he's probably not going to get a title shot. He's already, he had that run-in with GSP, so
right.
Maybe the state my plan for me to get that bout against Diaz if he loses to BJ Penn. So maybe I just root for BJ Penn. And in the Astro fight, I think Jay Haran thinks that if he stops the takedown, Ben striking isn't what he thinks it should be, and he'll be able to, beat him on that level. And just unbiasedly, I've shot with the college with Ben, and I know him as a ref. I think he might stop a few shots, but I know Ben never really gets tired, so he might shoot 100 shots, and he's going to get one of those shots. And if he keeps getting those shots, and he keep getting on top of you and keep grinding you and trying to submit you and punching you, I got a feeling he's gonna learn on Jay Haran after 5 rounds. And I just really believe that. I think Jay's probably more complete fighter, got more experience, got more striking ability, but the wrestling and the grappling of Ben is just night and day better than Jay Haran, and I think that's going to be the difference maker. So I think Ben either wins by submission or he probably wins out in 5 rounds.
It should be a good night of fights. Definitely exciting. Tyron, real quick before I let you go, do you have any sponsors you'd like to thank? Anything you want to say to the fans?
Yeah, man, I want to thank Clinch Gary for always holding it out for me, sponsoring me, my management team, Extreme Couture Management. I want to thank my personal trainer, Derek Fairchild, Jose Pons, Eric Brown from Wildcard, Edmund Zabatu, all the people that train me and get me ready for these battles. Also, everybody check out ATT Evolution. You go to @ATT Evolution on Twitter, ATTEvolution.com. True, authentic mixed martial artists coming to St. Louis. Also, be a part of the long-lasting tradition of America's top team and train with one of the best.
Tyron, thank you for taking the time to talk. I really appreciate it, and I wish you continued success.
Thank you.